Hey guys, it is a million degrees today and the humidity is like near 90%. But I got to get this garage organized and cleaned out. I have like a million garden tools and supplies and apparatuses. We're going through all of them today. We're going to get it done despite the heat. So, thanks for being here. I hope you find something helpful. There will be so much information, so many tips of all the weird stuff I apply in my garden to try to sustain it as naturally and organically as possible. All of my tools that I like to have on hand for weeding and redoing a flower bed. I think I use every single one of these pretty much every single time. All keepers, years of seeds that I've not processed. I think these are hollyhocks here. Yep. And then be prepared for the most intense collection of garden junk. I'll probably only use about 15% of all of this, but I'm gonna spend the day in this hot heat. It's probably 98 right now, purging. These are just my dry liquid goods. My dry fertilizers and stuff like that is in a different bin. There is a lot. So I'm just gonna, there's also a wasp right there. I'm just gonna go through and make quick decisions. Keeper, maybe, and no. All the no stuff is going. Like we can start with this. That is a decoy wasp preventer trapper thingy. It doesn't trap them. It just tells them, hey, there's a wasp nest already here, so go away. It does not work. I put one on our shed door, and inside the shed there was 4 different nests. So that is probably a no. Although since I've already built it, I might as well hang it up. I think I'll go hang it over by the garage. Both of these are keepers. The one on the right is higher in nitrogen, and that's great for growth. The one on the left, you want to use that more when you're growing flowers or fruits and your plants are already grown and they're just, wanting to be beautiful and produce lots of great flowers for you or fruit. So keepers, both. I also use this general hydroponics all the time. Like this is a repeat order for me. I like to have that on hand. And BT. I have to have the BT. You can get it concentrated, you mix it yourself, or you can buy it already made. And this helps you with caterpillars of any sort that are eating your plants. So for me, it's mostly a squash vine borer preventative, but you could use it for cabbage loopers, hornworms, etc. So I need these up front where I can see them quickly. Deer spray is a keeper for me. I prefer this brand, and also Bobix works really good. What flavor do I have here? Scent. Mint. There is one other that might work better. I can't remember. I'll have to look in my Amazon order. I'll put it here. And then I use different scents to kind of mix things up. Poopery actually works, guys. You want to mix up the scent so they don't know what's going on. But this is a keeper, even though this year is especially hard on me in my garden with the deer. I'm still gonna keep this in my arsenal of tools. Sluggo bait, Sluggo Plus is my preferred product. It's expensive, much more expensive than this one. They actually like this one better. So they don't really want to eat this one. They usually leave it. I guess if they're starving, they'll eat it, but this they actually really love. So I keep this on hand and use it sparingly. If it's going to rain, I'm definitely not going to put it down. I make sure I do it after a heavy rain, and I've got many, many days of clear weather. So a few things over on this shelf. I usually use Tiro for ants, and I've got a couple of Zevo products for different pests indoors. But outdoors, I keep mosquito bits or mosquito dunks for mosquito prevention of the larvae developing into new adults. And I've got just enough space on the shelf to put the extra bags that are out there in the driveway. So that is a keeper for me. I've never tried this Mole Max because I was too afraid to use it with the dog. I can't testify to that, but I'm going to hang on to it for now. Everything in this container is a keeper. And I put the deer spray down there. Diatomaceous earth, keeper, for sure. And I have a fresh bag back in there, way back in there. I have like 3 different containers of it out in the driveway. We're going to condense down to one that I can put in my garden bag. We don't need that many containers, and that'll help with a little bit of the space. I'm definitely keeping my bone meal. This is a brand new bag. And this bag held my bone meal. I used up the last bit the other day. These are both keepers. Bone meal is more for bulbing and fruiting. The blood meal is more for growth, like it's high in nitrogen. It's really high in nitrogen. Let's see if it says on here. Yes, it does. So 1400, and the bone meal would be opposite. It would be higher in the last two numbers, the phosphorus and potassium. I guess I'm going to go ahead and keep my cayenne, even though I burned a bunch of leaves a couple weeks ago by putting it on way too thick, way too dense. And I think combined with the heat wave we were having and the intense sun, it burned a bunch of leaves. But I have used this for years as a deterrent for like chipmunks and squirrels and deer. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep it, just not use it so heavily. Same principle with crushed red pepper. The ground up cayenne seems to be more effective, but sometimes I just sprinkle this where I plant new seeds just to try to keep pests from trying to bother those new seedlings and or seeds. And then I've got some cinnamon. This was bought when I was having a fungal issue, so you can use that as an antifungal on the soil level. And I keep Tums on hand for calcium in the soil. I will use that throughout the summer. Similar thought process for why I kept this expired calcium supplement, because it was like, I don't know, 4 years expired, and I didn't want it for myself. So I decided I'm just going to grind it up and put it into some water at some point and try it on a plant and see how they do. It does have some zinc and copper as well, so we're going to keep it next to the Tums. A definite keeper for me. I mix this in with some of my tomato potions to give a nice boost of potassium. Along those same lines, I have a bottle of potassium pills that are for people that you can buy over the counter. I don't know where I put them, but we're going to find them today, and when I do, they will go here with the molasses. Be careful with potassium. And I'm looking out my window here. There's another tomato. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 green tomatoes I can see on the ground. And I'm going to blame the squirrels or the deer or the chipmunks, and that is making me so angry. And yeah, there's tons of spider webs on these windows, but I'm so mad right now. I think I was saying something about potassium needs to be regulated by your doctor. You shouldn't just take it. It's very potent and could cause cardiac issues. So I'm using mine from our garden. That's all. Also got some old yeast here that we can make as an amendment as well at some point. I really have never worked with the yeast, but I know some people make yeast fertilizer. So I kept it for that reason. And just keep on moving. I have been finding various liquid fertilizers. I don't like to keep these outside in case they like explode or something in the heat. So I've got various grow and bloom formulas and just a hodgepodge of others that I should probably try to use up and kind of narrow it down to just a couple. A couple of these seem to be more for specific issues. This is for mites, which I do get spider mites sometimes, and this is for fungal and bacterial diseases. I have never used these. I would have to look them up and do some research. So I cannot say yes or no. I would recommend these. I'm just going to hang on to them, but be very cautious when I use them. I've only used it once, but I think I'm going to keep this mini chainsaw I got off Amazon. It was super, super cheap. I only used it once to take out my big rosemary shrub that was killed off this winter by an extreme cold spell of ice for 3 weeks. Yeah, it's gone. And then those mole solar powered things, I really don't think they work. I'm going to keep them out, though, just in case I need them again. They annoy me to death, but I am keeping them. I have used this little bottle of Super Thrive multiple times. I've bought a bottle. It's just basically vitamins for your plants. I have bought the spray that you spray on your leaves. It always makes me nervous to use it. That is why the bottle is pretty much full. Now, this I would add into a mixture that I'm mixing up to pour onto my plants at the soil level, like fertilizer or an amendment. But I do like this product. I don't know why. I can't really have any scientific proof that it helps, but I know it hasn't hurt my plants. So there's a positive, right? Yeah, it just sounds good. So, and I've used it multiple times. This is probably my third bottle in like 7 years. Speaking of vitamins, I do save old expired vitamins because they have a lot of things plants like: copper, zinc, magnesium, calcium. Maybe there's stuff in there that plants don't like, but sparingly, this is something I might crush up and mix into a gallon of my fertilizer that I've already mixed up, just as like a little extra boost, similar to this, but free, because these were expired. I would have thrown them away. Anyway, another free fertilizer I like to use from the kitchen. If we have these open and they're expired, they've been open a long time, I just throw them out here. These are way expired with my garden stuff. And you can just break some up, crush it up, put it in your gallon of amendment that you've already mixed up with your fertilizer, and just have a little extra boost. It's just seaweed. That's all it is. So I feel like it is just a free little boost that would have went into the trash. That I think makes a great little bonus. I keep rooting hormone on hand for difficult to root cuttings propagating. I keep some Irish Spring soap on hand. And it's empty, this bag. I normally keep them in this bag, but right before I left for Kentucky, there was 3 in here, and because the deer have been so horrific, I just took them out there, broke them up, and threw them around my yard. But there should be some used for my husband Irish Spring soap bars in here. Yeah, have to fill this back up soon. Doesn't work? Does it work? Who knows? Does anything work with deer? Probably not, but at least it makes me feel better about not wasting a product, because he likes to go on trips, take a full bar, come home with a half-used bar, and not use it again. So I like to save them. Yes, I'm into saving as much as I can. So we'll fill this back up eventually with some Irish Spring soap. I have a grater somewhere that I take around with me with the soap, and I like grate off little bits of it onto the soil level around plants I want to protect, but not too close to the plant because it is a soap. Just for deer deterrent, not for plant food. So these empty dog food bags, it's hard to recycle them. I think you have to mail them somewhere, pay the shipping and all that to get them recycled. So I have started collecting them. This is Tonto's dog food for when we move. What I'm going to do, I have a tiny collection at this point. This is going to be my walkway in my new garden area, which will probably be in a field somewhere. And so the grass is going to be like out of control. I'm going to lay these down and make my walkways to kill off what's growing, the weeds, the grass. And then eventually I can pull it up, but this is going to get me started. So I'm saving them, and that is going into our collection on our shelf here, which is getting quite full. A bin of gloves. It's going to be a keeper for the most part. I might kind of filter through, and the reason I have so many gloves is because I don't keep my stuff organized. And then I go in and get a new pair of gloves, and I have way too many gloves at this point. And this is a great harvest basket. Thank you, Ellen and Dell. But right now I'm going to use it for my many gloves to keep them visible and accessible, so that I do not buy any more gloves and I use up all the gloves that I have, and I'm not out there barehanded in the garden getting bit by everything. I will say these gloves are awesome in the winter. They're insulated pretty well. I got them at Tractor Supply. Haven't been able to find them in a while, but now I know exactly where they are. So come winter, I will have these handy. And there is another pair of gloves somewhere that I bought for rose care. And I was wearing those when I was trimming on my my barberry, and one of the thorns went straight through. So if you have a pair of gloves to recommend for roses or thorny type plants, please put in the comment below. I could try these out. These are leather. Let me try these out next time. If I find the other ones while we're doing this today, I'll put a picture up. All of the dry fertilizer I'm going to put off to the side for later. I do like this one. Tonto accidentally ate it once, and he didn't get sick, which is great because it's mostly natural organic ingredients, stuff that sounds really yummy to dogs. I'm not sure how much it was. It was kind of like a stressful night, you know, keeping an eye on him, but he did okay. Peppermint extract, watered down. It's mostly water. A few drops of the peppermint extract. Good to spray around. Good to spray on yourself. And then I've got some peppermint soap. If I need to mix this in for a pest control solution, you can tell this is a very old bottle. Just a little bit goes a long way, and you can look up a recipe for that if you happen to need to add some kind of soap to to your insect formula for pest control. So extract, peppermint soap, empty bottle in case I need to mix some more of this up, but maybe I could just go ahead and recycle this. Yeah, so I like to keep a lot of empty spray bottle type containers around for mixing up potions like bug control, antifungal. These 3 have not been used. I'm going to put them somewhere safe, and I may have to mix something up. We have a heat wave coming, but we also have like a million days of storms and rain, so we may have to mix something up for my tomato plant soon. I just found a bin of a bunch of seeds, both seeds I collected at some point. What is that? Oh, rattlesnake master. That's a great seed to have. And I found a bunch of seeds of my own that I had bought and I guess misplaced. So definitely need to clean this up, and I'm making a place for all the harvest baskets on that shelf too. I found something I've been looking for. It's a pocket chainsaw. It's got a chain link there. You throw it around a tree and then you just kind of saw back and forth. So it could be good, could be useful. Some branches I can't reach. Somehow I have to figure out how to throw this up there and then start sawing away. But this is cool. I'm so glad I found this. This is going to go into the tool bin, which I haven't even started working on the tools yet. And this bin is all trinkets, bells, fishing line, things that are shiny, things that clang together and make noise to make little deer noise makers that I've been saving for a while. Does it help? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But at least I feel like I'm doing something. So, yep. Just instead of throwing all this away, I just make little deer wind chimes, I guess you would call it. Guys, I'm going to have to apologize to my husband. In this bucket, I'm taking stuff out and I find this liquefied grossness. This is my most important arsenal in my war on the chipmunks, deer, and squirrel. This is a hot pepper spray that I made 4 years ago. I keep it in my refrigerator when I'm not using it. And I guess at some point late summer, early fall, I put it in the bucket one night when I came in and I never put it away. And I've been looking for it and I've been complaining that somebody threw out my deer spray. Sorry, honey. So this is not probably usable at this point. It's been sitting in the garage for many, 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 many months. I will be making a new one. I'll make a new video. I think I have a new spray bottle that's hefty duty. You have to get a hefty duty sprayer. We'll make a new video on this because this is important and I need it right now because of those idiots who are knocking my tomatoes down on the ground for no good reason. And if I went out there, I bet there's a lot of tomatoes with little teeth marks all over them. So outside, out back, I have a deck box full of different pest control things as well. I have a bin for scare tactics, for bird, deer, etc. So what I would do, buy one of these shiny tablecloths at the Dollar Tree, cut it into long, long strips, and then tie it onto something. So this will get moved. There's another one, I think, in our mess somewhere. I'll be keeping various mats for my knee protection when gardening. I still have the kindergarten sleep nap mat that 3 of my kids use. I had 3 that were born within 5 years, so they all 3 had to use that same mat in kindergarten, the blue one. So I kept it, and it works great. My husband even borrows it when he gets under the car to work on it. And then I have a couple other type that are made for gardening, but the nap mat, the best one. A bag of Tonto's old dog hair from last year. Yes, I save it for the garden, for deer discouragement. So actually, when I get done doing this garage work, I'm going to go sprinkle this all over the property. Oh, I think it's going to rain. It wasn't supposed to rain at all. So I think we need to get these 2 bins of seeds into the garage ASAP, just in case. I'll go through them someday. I'm not sure when that is. So outside in my deck box with other items, I have these mesh bags in different sizes. You can use these to protect certain plants like squash when they're young enough to fit underneath. You'll need some kind of wire apparatus to hold the mesh up, but it does help keep borers and other caterpillar type babies from being laid on the plant as eggs, and then they turn into caterpillars and eat all your food. All right, since it might rain, I went ahead and brought the large hand tools in just to be safe. I always take an edger out with me. This is a transplant shovel, and then I've got a regular shovel. I've got a tiny little skinny rake. I love it. That's great for getting down between plants. Then I've got a larger rake for larger areas. The pitchfork is for the back wooded area. I don't take that out, but I do take a couple other tools with me. Like I've got this one, the Power Stroke. It's like It's got a clipper on it at the end and a chain, so you can cut plants or like branches, leaves, etc. that are really, really high up. Like that. I got it on clearance a few years ago. It was the best deal ever. And then a loper. Lopper? I always have one of those out with me too. Now the shears back there, I don't always have those out, but those items I talked about I like to have with me when I'm doing a bed, and also some type of really large pop-up basket for all the debris from weeding, etc. I keep my garden straw in here. I used to keep it out indoors in the garage, but we need the space, so now I keep it outdoors in this airtight container. When you close it right, it is airtight. I'm actually thinking about putting my alfalfa pellets in there. So this is another fertilizer that's fairly cheap if you look at the bulk of it and the cost, and it's good for your plants, especially if you put it down in the fall. And I will do that very soon. It'll be fall. Baking soda, in case I have to make up some kind of baking soda spray for some plants struggling with fungal issues. So we're going to put that with the cinnamon right there. We're really filling up, guys. A little bit of space left. Found a whole lot of pruners, so I will put those with the tools. I do like to keep some type of hand sanitizer or alcohol spray with me when I'm pruning plants, in case, well, I mean, you need to do it. You need to disinfect between plants. So that's why I keep that with my pruners. These I thought were a Del Market. I grew them this year. I found some earlier and put some in the ground early in March. These are actually rattlesnakes, so I'm going to take these and plant them back. So supposedly lysine is also good for plants, cold sores, and plants for roots and healthy plant development. So I keep this too, an expired one from a plant. So we will put that with all the vitamin and supplement type stuff here. These little dog toothbrushy things that you brush your dog's teeth with are great for rubbing eggs off of a plant. Like the back of the leaves is where you usually find eggs. And this will gently, it won't hurt your plant, but it should be rough enough to pull those eggs off. Have I ever actually walked out in the garden to do that? No. You can also use tape, like, you know, roll it up so the sticky part is sticking out from your hand and just kind of pick up the eggs. That way, I do think you could cause more damage to the plant possibly. And then also I have found some syringes. So what do I use syringes for? Back in the day, I would try to inject BT and kill off the borers that were inside the stem. I don't really do that anymore because it's just too much work for me at this point. But that is why I have syringes and needles. I have not found the needles yet, but I will. And I'll hang on to them just in case there's some other application in the garden where I might need a needle and syringe. This bin is just full of winter sowing items that usually is boiling around making a hole in the bottom of the milk jug. So we'll talk about all of this some other day. And I'm sure I actually have talked about them in a video on winter sowing. But I want to keep all of this together so that when it's time, come, you know, late December or January, maybe February too, we can winter sow quickly. Items are for seedlings and or seed starting, working with very, very young plants. And honestly, I do not use any of these items, although these little coffee stoppers that they put in the drinks work really well to work around a plant, to pop it out, a little seedling. So I may or may not keep some of this, maybe just a couple. This I've never even used. This is for putting out seeds more appropriately spaced, but I've never used it. The best things I do to keep pests under control is feed the birds. Keep the garden full of birds, because even though birds can be a pest too, they eat a lot of insects. So I keep these hot suet cake feeders for them. The squirrels will not eat them, just the birds. And I think it's great to have birds around. They just love caterpillars, they love insects, and they make such beautiful, beautiful songs, right? And then this will go outside as well into my outdoor big box bin. This is what I use, rolled up, to make seed rolls. You know, those snail rolls that people seem to like right now. So I have a bunch of this material that I keep put away for that. Out to that bin will be a whole container of these mesh bags. I guess I bought these thinking I was going to start a bunch of squash, maybe. So just get yourself one of those Dollar Tree bins, turn it upside down, put one of these over top of it, it fits, and you can keep the plant like that protected until it gets all the way to the top of the container, and protect it as long as possible. And these avocado bags I like to keep, I cut them in the center, and then you secure it with a hook on both sides, and this can be a sling for a melon or some other hanging fruit that you want to protect. All right, y'all can get these at the Dollar Tree for $1 in the old days. Now it's $1.50. Mixing up your potions, mixing up your deer spray, and then everything over here I'm thinking about getting rid of because I honestly do not use these products. This is a full bottle that I broke when they all fell down of 3-in-1 garden spray. Never used it. I've got some garden dust. Never used that either. It looks like it can be useful though for a lot of things. Never used this fungicide. I may need this for the roses at some point though. And supposedly all of these products are organic. Kills on contact. Don't even know why I bought that. Insecticidal soap. We can make our own. We already have that peppermint soap that we looked at earlier. And this I guess I bought it because it was on clearance. And you can see by the tag how old this is. This is an old Target clearance sticker. Never used this either. I'm afraid to use a lot of things, and that's why they've not been used. I have heard good things about Captain Jack's, so I do have this, let's see, bagworm, borers, and beetles. I wonder if this is actually BT. Do not have my glasses on, so I'm going to have to read that. Oh, spider mites. This might be one I keep. I might actually keep this one. I might keep the dust. I need to read it a little more carefully. And then everyone wants to talk about neem oil. I have it. I've never used it. I know there are some precautions. I know it can be a good thing, but I think too much could be harmful in my garden. But I may hang on to it just in case I have the rare circumstance of needing this. I did put a few of these back just in case, and I have a few over there to toss. I have this empty Wondercide bottle. I think I'm going to keep that to mix with our peppermint soap there. I would rather do that than probably use this. It's a brand new bottle. It's never been used. Who knows how old it is, but I don't know why. I'm just so nervous to use stuff in the garden. Even if it says organic, I think I would rather nature take its course. And that has been my philosophy from the beginning. You know, 6-7 years ago when I started heavily into this organic gardening and growing my own food, I just wanted nature to take care of itself. And so that is why you do not see a lot of hard chemicals in here. And I don't have to use them. Nature usually does. You know, there's a cycle. Like with the birds, you know, keeping the birds in the garden. They like to eat some pests and the beneficial insects. I don't want to kill them. I don't want to kill the beneficial insects. And a lot of these products do not distinguish between a beneficial insect and a bad bug. So that is why I'm so cautious and very light-handed. But we are going to keep a few of these just in case I have a weird outbreak or something like that going on. This owed garlic powder for deer deterrent, but I really don't think it works. Chipmunks, squirrels, etc. In fact, I think it's kind of like turned solid. So good luck for me trying to get that out. This probably I'll just go ahead and sprinkle around outside and then recycle the container. Probably not a keeper for me. I did find some essential oils. Put those down there. I've got all my syringes and that one and needles. Things are really filling up and it's looking good, and it's so great to know where things are located. And I have duplicates, like I've got 2 cinnamons, and so if I have everything organized, I won't be buying multiples all the time. You're not gonna believe it. I found more seeds. I knew I was missing seeds. I knew it, and there they are. Yep. Now this is a keeper for sure. This is very important. This is masking tape, and I use it to tape my tomato plants back together when I break a stem. I'm not joking. You can tape your tomato plants back together. I have several videos on it on my channel. I think I posted a 3-minute one last year showing the progression of that stem as it heals and makes new roots to bypass that cut, that broken area. Yes, this needs to go out with me every time I'm working on tomatoes. All right, milk jug winter sowing bin there. I'm going to start putting some indoor seed starting containers up here. Like these are indoor starting containers. Outdoor stuff will go outdoors. Indoor stuff will stay in here in the garage. I found this, guys. It's a soil blocker, Fiskars. Never used it. Maybe we'll make a video about it. I should try it out just to see if I want to keep it, but not today. So it's going up there for now. I found a big bin of tie-ups, and I'm pretty sure these have not been disinfected if they've been used. So I am going to disinfect them. Obviously the brand new items I won't. More masking tape for fixing broken tomato stems. But I wanted to show you guys this. I love these. You can use them to make a teepee out of bamboo sticks or other sticks. You could just go in the woods and find sticks, whatever height you want. You just need 3. and you just make yourself a little teepee, and this ties it up at the top. You could obviously use twine or string to do that as well. This makes it pretty quick, and these are pretty strong, so I really do like these. This is definitely a keeper for me. And my preference for tie-up is just these foam or plastic covered wire. This makes it quick for me. I can do it with one hand. These are okay. They break so easy, but I will use these up. This is my effort at organizing. The last time I did such a big project such as today with organizing my tools and garden stuff, I think I have more stuff now than ever, but there are a few things in here I will keep, like my black light. I was looking for this the other day for the hornworms. Didn't know where it was. Now I know. Maybe I'll label the outside of my bag. That might help me stay more organized, but there's a lot of cool stuff I think in here. Let's look. More mosquito bits. That makes the 4th bag I have found now. I do not need to buy any for a very long time, but they are very useful in the garden. I do need them. Fake snake. This used to be my daughter's snake. Does it work? No, but I did scare my neighbor to death once, like really badly. Maybe I'll try it again with the chipmunks. I think, you know what? Let's go do it now. Let's see how many tomatoes we've lost today. There's one. Well, I might not even be able to get in here today. Yeah. Okay. There's one on the ground. Right there. There's a big one on the ground right there. Oh, I'm getting upset. There's another one on the ground. And another one on the ground. So I'm going to put the snake in here. Let's see if that helps. I have a feeling this is from chipmunks. It makes me so mad. So mad. So mad. So what I'm going to do is probably make some fried green tomatoes. It looks like whoever's coming in here is breaking the branches and the trusses. Look at this poor thing. Somebody was gnawing on it for sure. I guess they don't know when tomatoes are ripe or not, but they are definitely coming through here and wreaking havoc on my poor, poor tomatoes. So I'm going to gather all these up. I'm going to leave the snake, and we will see if this helps a little bit. Probably not. Probably not. Oh man, there's another one. Another tomato. So this is how many they knocked off last night from one side of the trellis. Some of these, you can see they took little bites trying to get water, I guess. There's another bite. Some of these I can use for fried green tomatoes. The ones that are real matte finished, like not shiny, like this one is super shiny. This one might even turn, or I can use it for the fried green tomatoes. The ones that are kind of this matte finish, like those two, they're not going to turn. So, yep, very, very, very. My cat mint. I'm going to sprinkle some of this around too. There is a cat that lives down the street who comes up here sometimes to help me out with some chipmunks. I'm going to go sprinkle this real quick right there in the raised bed area. The reason I keep it is for the smell, to kind of deter pests and squirrels and chipmunk and deer. But maybe it'll draw the cat here, and the cat will hunt for these chipmunks. Right, y'all, these are pins. There's so many pins, outdoor markers in here. It's not even funny. And then there's a huge amount of these tags. And I really, really am not keeping up with those. I'm not good about keeping them out of the garden. I'm not good about putting them in the garden, so I'm thinking about donating the tags. It's more of a nuisance to me, really. I like to just take a picture of with my phone if I plant seeds directly and remember that way. Yeah, so I think that bin can probably go. It's going to be hard to let those go, but I think that will save a little bit of space. So yeah, a thorn went through one of the finger areas when I was working on that barberry and poked me, so definitely not going to use these anymore. And it's suede, it's not leather. I'll try the leather next time, and if that doesn't work, I may have to do some more research. Oh, always remember, roses with thorns is one way a lot of people get tetanus. So if you're not up to date on tetanus, you might want to consider talking to the doctor about a tetanus vaccine. I save old shower hook from when I do a remodel or have to buy new ones. These actually look pretty nice. I wonder why I'm even putting them out here. They actually look nicer than the ones I have now. I might save these actually, but this is what I use. The ones on my trellis right now are all rusted and gross. And you just use these to hook up your little bags for your fruit to make that sling. Yeah, I might have to hold on to these. Maybe it's missing one. Maybe that's why it's out here. All right, guys, it is coming to the end of the day. It is nighttime. It is so late. And I'm going to be done with this project for now. At least I have all of my chemicals here fertilizers organized, put away where I know where I can find stuff. And then I still have all of the tools, the hand tools and other little things I want to keep in my garden bag to go through and organize. But that will have to be another video, guys. I feel like this is so long, so long. I appreciate you being here. Hope you learned something or got a little tidbit of information that may help you in the garden. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.